Let me ask you a question. You really think we live in the times of technical progress or technical development? This is a book. Gutenberg. This thing is here 500, 600 years since Gutenberg invented the way how to make books. I don't have a real thing like this thing which I want to show, which represents for me, which is not exactly this, but I don't have any. I want to show you this and refer to clay tablets, which was used by Sumeri around 3000 years before Christ. And this civilization, which now exists in times of nowadays Iraq, between the rivers Euphrates and Tigris, the oldest civilization created clay tablets from clay, and they used the reed stylus, cut into the triangle like a pen, and they were writing with the QAnon alphabetical QAnon language, the first language, records which were needed like for business, information, organization, their civilization, and then they write it in the clay, which was wet, and then they burn it down. They burn it up, let it dry, and it was the first records or kind of a book. So they used the clay tablets. Then here comes Gutenberg 600 years ago, 500, 600, and he comes with the books. We're talking about 5,000 years, 3,000 years before Christ, and 2,000 years after Christ. 5,000 years, there were offline times, and people tried to make communication and written records better and better. Since that, then this offline times lasted 5,000 years, and now you have the fucking 35 years so-called online times, when you using, I would say, writing since last 25 years, not even this online times, but let's say this iPad times or smartphone times, we're talking about 15 years? 15 years contra 5,000 years. Let me ask you a question. How long it will take this stupid, idiotic civilization to realize that when somebody make a clay tablets to write down with QAnon writing with the reed stylus, it was technical progress. When comes the paper book, it was technical progress. But when somebody invented iPad or smartphone with scrolling down and reading, it's a technical what? A development. It's not a technical progress. You wanna know the fucking evidence? I tell you. Just give me a sec. This is a motherfucking laptop, right? I don't have an iPad or other smartphone, but I wanna show you how stupid and non-functioning is reading the text not via paper book. The thing is like that, when you read book with paper, you are actually framing information visually into this shape, and then you can remember as well you can use other senses while you are reading. You can use the touch and the smell. These two senses helping you while you creating the mental map and you writing down the information, and you can memorize them. Because when your eyes looking at something at some point, they focus in kind of a certain bordered space, which is really fixed, which is firmly firmed or fixed, so you can focus on some place. When you focus on some certain place, that's how works the visual sight. Then you put it in your mental map and you remember this information. But let me ask you a question. How the fuck you can memorize something which is not framed, which has no borders? You see? When you're looking at this stupid invention which will very soon be thrown on the fire with other fucking nonsense gadgets and useless fucking stupid inventions. I know you think I'm a crazy. Wait 5-10 years. Just wait what I tell you next. And let us see. So let us see, I put some text randomly, Wikipedia. Oh, it's so modern and great. We can read on internet. Really? Let me ask you questions. When you're scrolling down like an idiot and reading, do you see? And let's face it, who is now reading with laptop or iPad? Everybody using the fucking smartphones. When you're scrolling down, do you see some frame here? Yeah, there is a digital frame, but regarding the text, when you're scrolling down on your fucking smartphone, there is no, the pages are, inverting into each other. You see, they're connected. It looks like one long fucking line of some nonsense informations. You cannot smell the information on the smartphone. You cannot feel them, the pages, and they are not framed into the smaller informations, into the smaller pictures or memes of informations which you can gradually memorize, and which allows you gradually create your mental map. You see, because something which is not divided in small parts cannot be memorizable. This way how to get information through smartphones is not non-productive, it's counterproductive. It doesn't work, and it damaging your brain while you're watching at the screen. So when you would read from the clay tablets 3,000 years before Christ, you would memorize more 3,000 years before Christ than from the nowadays smartphones. You see? So in this way, we can say that the mankind is stepping back. We actually in the moments of the most stupid times since this civilization was born, which is around age 0, right? AD, let's say 1st century. Now, look at the situation like this. Sumerians created the wheel. They created a lot of things. Oh my God, they created a system where you could water your fucking fields. They created channelized system, with the water cleaning, they fucking toilets, whatever. 4,000 years later or 4,500 years later, in 15th century here in Spain or in Europe, people were throwing shits, piss and vomit through their windows on the fucking streets to creating plague. You see, the European civilization is the most stupid ever. 4,000 years before, these people have got a channel system, right? But their civilization died eventually. You see, they were attacked by others, and they died around, I think, 2,000 years before Christ. Their civilization died because the land was too salty, so they couldn't grow food, and they were attacked by other tribes. And this was a very smart civilization. They invented wheel. They invented the clay tablets, and then Chinese later invented in A Dominum 1000 after Christ, 100 after Christ, the paper, the papyrus, right? So even Sumeri went away. They last 2,000, 3,000 years. How long you think will last this stupid, idiotic civilization? The fucking Romans, they go away. They went away. The old Greek, they went away. Average Greek person has an IQ 130. They were able to memorize the whole Iliad, you see. Could you tell me somebody who knows by memory all Iliad? They even don't know what is Iliad. You see, bear with me and think it over. We live in the most stupid decline of civilization since the dark fucking Middle Age. In the dark Middle Age, they were smarter because they were writing down. When you're writing down, and when you are a kid and you are 3-4 years old and you're learning to read, or you're learning, to to create some denotats and connotats in your brain. So let's say denotate of my, I don't know, denotate of the bread. In my case, you see, in my case, like a fucking European, that's how look like a fucking bread in Spain. This is the denotate of the bread is in my head, and this is the connotate. You are fucking American, so you will have this white, disgusting, into pieces cut bread. This is your connotate. Iranian guys, they will have a bread like the motherfucking, this thick bread, this kind of a thing which is like in circle, and this kind of a I don't know how you call it in English. This kind of a shape, circular bread, right? This kind of a tortilla bread. But the bread is denotate, it's same. You see, just the connotates culturally are different. And now, let me ask you questions. Let me ask you one question. When you were a kid and when you start to read, and when you were reading, you ask, for example, what the hell is dragon, Papa or Mama? Then you look at the book and there was written D-R-A-G-O-N, dragon. This denotate was in your brain, dragon. And it has to be born. So you have to pair it with the connotate, with the psychological shit. Right? The dragon in China looks different than the European dragon kid brain, the dragon in brain of European kid, American kids, whatever. How the connotate was born, or how you even make your brain start to think, how you awaken it. Well, it was easy. You come to your father and he explain you by words what is dragon. So you activated certain parts of your brain which receive audio information and which activate imagination to create the connotate of the dragon. Of the word dragon, denotate, you created connotate up until, depends on the description of your father. Or you take a book and you read by lines, by letters, which creating words and sentences, you read one page of description of the dragon. You touch the fucking book, you smell it, and you create in your head how looks like dragon. And you never fucking forget it. It was created, and there were different kinds of dragons. In other books you read the dragon was different, it was described different, you see? And you activate certain imaginatory parts of your fucking brain, very important one, when you first sophisticated way, you actually coded and decoded the connotate and denotate. You saw dragon in your head, and to see it or to read something, you have to look at the fucking letters, and then you have to make the letters turn into visual picture in your brain. So you activate visual center of the brain, and then the memory, the reading and absorbing the information. So you decode visual picture in your brain into the letters which you read. Second option, or third option, how you could realize what is dragon or learn, is when you look at the book at the picture. There were different pictures. There were no photography because dragon doesn't exist in reality. So there was some picture. The picture was probably done in some artistic way. There were different painters, different way of how to illustrate. Pictures are aesthetic things in books. So this was the easiest way how you can look at the dragon and you visually imprint it in your brain, the connotate to the word of dragon which you learn to read it. But you still activate certain parts of the brain. Now, when you are a kid, you know how you learn what is dragon? You take the stupid phone or iPad and you say dragon and it appears, and that shit is imprinted in your brain. Every kid knows one fucking dragon. You see, you stop activating your brain when you're learning, you see, in the way to using smartphones which are contradictive, contraproductive. You see, they damaging your brain, because when you learn how the dragon works in Mesopotamia or Sumerian civilization, you are still touching the fucking clay. You see? And then it works like actually reading from the book. Yeah? So we, for last 5,000 years, accepting, learning, and getting information in the most stupid way, and we think we are the smartest. The kids nowadays look at the iPads and they learning by visualizing the things, so they don't recode and code the letters into the visual things. They right away go from visual to visual. My generation, 1982, needs to recode the letters into visual pictures. So my brain was activated more, and certain parts were activated, than nowadays kids who even stop activating some parts of the brain. So they becoming digitally demonetized. You see, we lowering our intelligence. These kids stop using their brain as did they use it, as people use it 20, 30 years ago. Since invention of internet, I get into it, and since invention of the fucking smartphones, everything went downhill, you see? So the PISA statistics, which are very respected, are datas which been collecting many years, and they show us that 10 years ago, when the iPads were not obligatory in countries like Norway, Germany, France, etc., that these data 10 years ago showing us that the most intelligent kids were in Scandinavia, in countries like Sweden, Norway, Holland, and Germany, France, etc., etc. After 10, and the countries with the most dumb kids, with stupid kids, were countries like Turkey, Armenia, etc., etc., Bulgaria, Romania. 10 years ago, they made the iPads obligatory for basic elementary schoolers, kids who going to elementary school. The countries which had the highest rank regarding the intelligence, and they started to use the iPads like obligatory, they went, after 10 years, according to PISA statistics and these data, these countries were the most stupid one. And the most stupid one, which didn't use the iPad like obligatory at the elementary schools, like the mentioned Turkey or Romania or Bulgaria, become the most smartest ones. So everything changed, you see, upside down. The kids who started to use the iPads at school, they became more stupid. Out of the 50 countries, the Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, England went to the bottom, where previously were countries like Turkey, Romania, and Bulgaria, which were stupid. So think it over. These kids from Turkey, Romania, and Bulgaria, they didn't get smarter. They are still same stupid, excuse my French. But the kids who use the iPads in Norway and England and Germany, who are 40, points ahead of them, are 40 points behind them. So they're becoming even stupider. You see? You want another evidence? Okay. Look at the things, how the fucking hormones working serotonin, dopamine in your brain while you're looking at the screen. You remember in 1990s when my teacher asked me in history and basic school, how many hours do you look at TV? How many hours do you watch TV? And I was so ashamed. I said, I watch it, and I lied. 3 hours per day. Actually, I watch it 5 hours per day. And I feel so bad. 5 hours per day? It's a lot. I tell her just 3 hours per day. And we were taught that when you look at the screen of TV, you become, your brain is gonna be erased, wiped out. You got them demonetized, right? It's a digital dementia. You remember? Now look at the fucking people. Look at the fucking TV screen, laptop, smartphone. People looking at the free screens in same fucking time. 20 fucking 15, 17 hours per fucking day. What do you think this shit will do with the chemistry of your brain? Depression, isolation, social desensitivation. People are not able to have fucking relationship because the emotional coefficient going down. They don't know how to communicate. They brainwashed by fucking Instagram, TikTok. These things, these applications are like a drugs. Now let me use the metaphor. This is the great book which everybody should read. History of the Drugs, by Antonio Escojotado. This gentleman has described how the narcomania was born. Narcomania was born, in second half of 19th century when people invented morphine, which is a chemical analogy of opium. In Napoleon Wars, suddenly on the end of 19th century, field hospitals get quiet because the wounded could finally get an injection of morphine and they could amputate their legs or whatever, operate without tremendous pain when these soldiers were practically very well anesthetized. They were put in sleep by either raw opium, which didn't work like morphine, or they just didn't put them sleep and they just cut their fucking hands or whatever. So imagine what kind of a great invention it was when first time the opium was chemically isolated. But what happened? The nurses and the doctors start to use the morphine injected. They start to experiment, and then they bring it back to the towns and cities when the war was not there, and that's how the narcomania was born. Then the Baudelaire, Gauguin, all these people, Rambo, these artists and great people start to experiment with these things, and they created narcomania. Now, here you go. In 1890, you could buy a morphine in the pharmacy. It was propagated like a great thing. You could buy it, you could inject it in your fingers like Wagner or Nietzsche, who were using these things. You can use it, you can put it in your vein, and you can use the morphine. People discovered morphine, they said, hey, this is a great thing. After morphine, there was isolated cocaine from coca, was isolated chemically into cocaine. People start to get addicted on morphine, and after the morphine, they start to they have a problem with addictions. Bear with me, it is connected to technology and internet. I will explain you, but you have to hear first this part. After this, the cocaine start to be used and propagated. Sigmund Freud was one of the most famous user. He was taking so much cocaine that part of his face inside actually fall apart, and there was this hole which his nose was connected to everyone's nose is connected with the mouth, but the things, the floor which should separate the nose and mouth was in a case of Sigmund Freud totally melted. So he has a terrible problems with his mouth, and he was doing so much cocaine that it totally acided actually inside his face. He was addicted to cocaine, and he killed 5 or 6 his patients, or maybe 3 or 4, I don't know, that they were addicted to cocaine as well, and their nose already collapsed, their face structure, and they had the terrible problems. Because imagine, you could buy cocaine, and it was advertised in the Coca-Cola had a lot of cocaine. So when you drank one Coca-Cola, that's why they call it fucking cocaine. Once you drank Coca-Cola, then you were doing cocaine every day. So these people were taking cocaine in enormous amounts, which caused that their nose fall apart, and sometimes they got black holes in their nose, and they use prosthetics to cover the holes in their noses, and they were forced to use cocaine like Freud was using it. He putting in the water and he melted, and they were drinking it, or they have to inject it because they were not able to absorb it by their mouth or nose, because it collapsed. The mouth and nose collapsed, so they were not able to absorb the drug because they were doing a lot. They were doing probably, I don't know, like 2 grams, or they were doing 2-3 grams per day. and they gotta get it in their body somehow, which is incredible amounts. Like it would be like one, I don't know, maybe 50 lines of cocaine. So Sigmund Freud, one of his patients, said, use it and use injection. Or maybe he even assisted to give it to him. But they have no plastic injections in that time. And plastic injections were created many years later, invented. So there were only the metal one, and they don't follow the hygiene, so they use them more and more, not just one time. So the infection killed 4 or 5 patients while they were injecting cocaine intravenously, and Dr. Freud killed his patients by infection, advised them to use the cocaine intravenously. We're talking about a year of 905, beginning of 21st century, where you could buy cocaine in pharmacies and in periodics, in paper and in radio, in everyday's paper. You could see the picture and there was written, cocaine is a great thing for your nerves. It's a great thing to keep focused. You need to study for school, buy a cocaine. That's a great thing. Cocaine was something like a supplement of chrome or vitamin C. You could buy it in every pharmacy. Then cocaine was recommended for addiction of morphine. Then when people get addicted on cocaine and on morphine, there was isolated first time in history, was isolating, I think 1899, heroin, which is opium, right? So opium was isolated chemically, and the heroin came in 1910s, roaring 20s. 1910s was legal to buy a heroin and injected it or heroin pills. And again, heroin was recommended for addiction of cocaine and morphine. So we can see there was opium, morphine, cocaine, heroin. Okay? It all finished by 1927, then when the famous Harrison Law banned all drugs and alcohol, and here comes the prohibition. Right? When you have to smuggle Al Capone, whiskey, and everything went into the extreme. But before 45 years, people considered cocaine, morphine, heroin like a great supplements to eat, and when they discovered them, right away they put them to their clients and they start to sell it to people. Now bear with me. You remember we were talking about internet. If you know digital demented, we remember what we've been talking about 15 minutes ago. How about fucking internet? It's something like morphine, my friend. How about Nokia, which I consider 2000, the mobile phones, until 2000, before the smartphones were born, 2005, 2010. How about all good mobile phone was something like, how about Graham Bell and landline was something like opium? It was not so bad. I know the opium is addictable, but let's say in society before there was opium, and time to time somebody used the opium, like they smoke it or they eat it. But actually it was much worse. It was much difficult to get addicted to opium, like in old China, than to heroin and to morphine. How about the phone? The Graham Bell was still technical progress. You could use opium like a medicine. How about morphine? Was something like mobile phones. It was still good. There were some addiction, but you can use it because you need, when you're amputating somebody's fucking leg, you need to fucking put anesthetics. So you agree with me that opium probably was not a good thing. It was not sufficient against the pain. So you use the morphine, and then you cut the leg and the patient wake up and he doesn't suffer. So mobile phones were something like a morphine. But cocaine and heroin is the internet and smartphones. It's the smartphones and internet, my friend. That's the communication through communications through the phone doesn't damage you. And it was precise because when you talk into phone now and when you hear somebody, the communication is better than through the smartphone and texting. I'll explain you later. You see? So cocaine and heroin is something like smartphones and iPads regarding communication and learning and reading, absorbing information. And morphine is all good mobile phones or non-display phones, mobile phones, and classic phones. Well, let's go back to the point, and or we can talk about tobacco. Tobacco, I would use another analogy, is something like social networks. In 1930s, it was recommended to smoke. In 20s, tobacco, because smoking cigarettes, they say it stretch your lungs and it was very healthy to put a smoke of tobacco in your lungs. It was recommended in 1920s and 30s. In 1950s, 60s, here comes the first cancers of fucking lungs. There are some datas, and now we know the rest is the history. You know what happened with tobacco industry. Let me ask you a question. How about social networks are something like tobacco? We have the first cases of fucking cyberbully, sextortion, when kids, video themselves naked or whatever, and then they sextorting, they extorting, they blackmailing. We have suicides of kids. We got kids who are destroyed by TikTok. You are destroyed by Instagram. We got cyberbullies. We are slowly realizing that actually tobacco is useless. And not tobacco, but the nicotine. Nicotine creating the burning process with the paper, because if you chew the tobacco, you have no problem, you see. So cigarettes, not tobacco, cigarettes are something. Smoking is like a social networks. We are now in 70s when we realize, oh, my kid jumped out of the window, oh, TikTok addicted kid, whatever, cyberbully. We see some cases, we see some regulation in Australia. You cannot enter the social networks in school until age of 16. In China, Chinese are actually very smart people, because in China, until 20 years old or whatever, the access to TikTok is limited only for educational purposes. So you can go through TikTok on Wikipedia or some kind of Wikipedia, some kind of educational websites. Chinese create TikTok and they bombing us with it, but they don't use it on their own people, because they know that the addiction on scrolling on TikTok is equal of fucking fentanyl, I would say. I would say TikTok is fentanyl, Instagram is heroin, and cocaine is Facebook and internet, you see? That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this, that maybe in 10, 15 years there will be so much TikTok and social network, internet connected suicides. There will be so much online linked homicides and violence that you would need a new whole fucking force of anti-cyber crimes police units. You will have a cyber fucking police. I was born in offline times, and time to time, when I live now in this fucking disgusting times, 2025, I time to times go online. But these kids are born fucking online, and time to time they go back offline. They born online. Don't get me wrong. Don't you fucking misunderstood me. Because these kids are born online. You give the kid the iPad in the age of 2, 3, 4, they got these fucking thumbs which are created. You see, we giving heroin out of kids in age of 2, 3. We injecting them heroin. You remember, like in 90s, people were talking, this is so evil, this microwave. Every day, 3 minutes, they putting so much negative fucking things into my food, this is... And now where are all these people? You holding your fucking phone next to your ear 5 hours per day, and you getting 10 times stronger fucking destroying reaction like in the fucking with the microwave. Now you got your head in microwave since 2015. You got your head in microwave 24/7. There are so many cancers of testicles because people getting their phones in their pockets. The breast cancers because the woman got their phones in their handbags, which got it over here on the breasts. Wake up. The fucking technology and smartphones killing people mentally as a cancer. The relationship don't work because people, as we said, cannot communicate. After COVID, you can see this new generation of kids are so, they eating Ritalin like a candies because getting information, because to be just to be, exposed to the motherfucking smartphone is something like to be exposed to fucking plutonium. You see, people were using radium water in 1920s just to drink it and spit it out because it was funny and it was colorful. Radium water with fucking plutonium. And people think it's fun, you see? There were so many fucking stupid inventions. Like, for example, do the cocaine because it's a smart thing and you can focus. Yeah. There were so many recommendations of the smartest people in the world, like use heroin tablets, you see? And now they say, this is great. You see? We have iPads, we can learn so fast. We can learn so fast. Actually, information, which we getting from iPads and smartphones, we are able to memorize 1%. With the fucking books, it's around 50% of information memorized. So think and step back. The fucking internet is a cancer of the fucking mankind. Is a cancer. Internet itself, the world is online. In first time in history, there are the man was here 10,000 years before Christ, Homo habilis. Yeah. Then comes the Sumerian Homo sapiens sapiens, and from last 5,000, 10,000 years back, everything was offline. First time in history, last 35 years, there is some delusional, totally different dimension of existence which is online. The first time in history, the reality split. This crazy devil's invention called internet, I know it's funny, but wait 5-10 years, is something which is here for 35 years. You have offline times since 10,000 years before Christ, where we can see the first Australopithecus, first evidences of first human being, Homo habilis, 10,000 years before Christ in African continent. Until now, 10,000 years before Christ, from 10,000 years before Christ until, from 10,000 years before Christ until 1980s after Christ is an era or etap or stage or times of offline. And then you have something fucking like this. You have here the times which are online from 1980s to 2025. And out of this fucking little fucking line on the 10,000 years, you have something, 50% of these fucking online times is something which is called smartphones. And now you tell me, you stupid fucking digital demonetized fuck, you think for this last 15 years contra 10,000 years, you fucking actually know what you're playing with, you idiot? I tell you what you're playing with. You're playing with schizophrenia, you see? Internet was invented by CIA and it was put on the market. It's useless. It's counterproductive. You wanna see how I use my fucking great smartphone? I use 3 power banks per day. What does it remind you? It reminds me of landline, my friend. We're catching our fucking tail, you see? We're catching our tail. This is counterproductive. The landline, which I could use in the bar, was a technical progress. The smartphone with the fucking idiotic power banks. And when the power banks died, I cannot do banking, I cannot travel, I don't know direction, Google Maps. I'm cut off the reality. The smartphone is something which is called technical development. The Graham Bell's landline was a technical progress. Nokia from 2000, heavy fucking small little phone which lasted 3 days without charging and which was used for some certain matters, for some certain services or needs, was a technical progress. But once all fucking functions like computing, calculator, calendar, fucking passcodes, paying machines, using it like for payment, banking, driving, Uber. Once you give power to such a stupid invention like a smartphone, then you voluntarily becoming stupid. You voluntarily dementize your fucking brain, and there is something called digital dementia. People are not able to remember number of the streets where they live. They don't remember basic things because it's vaping their fucking mind. It's totally fucking eating and drinking their fucking brain. You know, there are studies which telling you that reaction when you scrolling on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, the reaction is equal to heroin. This reaction is that you discovering something, which means that the dopamine is pouring through the fucking opium channels of your brain, opioid one. It's the same channels where the dopamine is rushed when you use cocaine or when you're using heroin. The same roads in the brain, I repeat, are used for serotonin and dopamine to be reactivated when you use cocaine and heroin. Same parts of the brain are activated when you're scrolling on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or when you're reading on your iPad. Same parts of the brain are activated when you're using cocaine and heroin. Same parts of the brain. The parts of the brain which should be activated when you're coding and decoding the letters in the book are not activated. But the cocaine and heroin parts of the brain are activated. Now think, you got a sociopathic fucking billionaires who is throwing the things to people, like the first fucking legal drug lords who were selling the cocaine. These people got so rich. The people who isolate cocaine and heroin, they turned the world into fucking one narcomania. Think it over. This invention is useless. It's a pure fucking evil which demonetizes people, which is making them addicted on this fucking table, on these tablets, on the clay tablets. But these clay fucking tablets, if get broken, this fucking smartphone, then broken your life. The old Sumeri, they fucking replace it and they make another one because they put it together. This shit owns all your information. People say that now the best investment is in biotechnical fucking field. That's the biggest evil. Now, listen up. The next stage is put the chip in your fucking brain. First fucking thing was a fucking analog TV. Radio, mass medias were able to transfer the information, but analog TV was not able to talk back. When the TV talk, and I talk on the fucking TV, the TV don't talk back. You know what's the difference between social networks, Facebook and TV? I can shout on my TV, but it doesn't talk back. When I shout on Facebook, it's talking back. It's interactive medium. You remember these fucking intellectuals who say, I don't have a TV? No, I'm 10 hours per day on fucking Twitter and Facebook. It's a hypocrisy, my friend. You see, the people get stupidified. Now you have a Google glasses. You have fucking Bezos fucking glasses, or Amazon glasses. You have a whole reality glasses. You have a augmented reality glasses. After analog, there was interactive internet, and now there is a biological stage. After this analog and interactive internet, there is the last stage when we will get physically connected to the devices. So now maybe you feel that you connected to your fucking phone, because when the phone dies, you cannot get Uber, you cannot go to bank, you cannot send payment. Some people even don't have a card, you cannot pay in the... You don't know nothing, you don't know your calendar, you cut off, you know. Now maybe you feel that looks like your phone is like stuck to your fucking hands. My friend, it's nothing compared to the chip you will get in your fucking brain. Every 6 months you will go sit in so-called chip party. I predicted that it will look like some kind of a chip clinic where you sit, they take a pistol and they do relax Daniel, and they put a fucking chip in your brain, you see. And every 6 months you come and they renew and reshoot the chip in your brain. You will read your emails every day through your Google glasses. It's already happening in US. They want us, if not through the chip, they want us to get the information so fast. They know the smartphones are very primitive, stupid. temporary fucking tools which will be replaced by chips or by the Google glasses, where you can read through your fucking glasses or through whole reality glasses or whatever glasses, or you can see the emails, and they want to put it right away in your brain. They want to so much connect you. Now think it over, just by common sense. Think it over. They take something. You have your brain, your body, you are full of cells, water. Human body is created 70% by water, right? You have a human being which is connected to nature. Since 10,000 years before Christ, this body is natural. And now, after 10,000 years before Christ and 2,000 years after Christ, after 12,000 years when the human being was independently functioning like a system, because then they want to take something which was not born in your head, or which is not part of your body, and they want to implement some metal in your brain. Now think, does it sound like safe or good thing? What do you think? Let me tell you something. The cocaine, it was it was like inventing the fucking sugar candies, It was nothing compared to this, what these fucking people planning to do with our brains. They want to implement the chips in our brains. Have you observed the last 5 years you cannot do nothing without your phone? You cannot order air ticket, you cannot pay air ticket, you cannot travel, you cannot get taxi, you cannot pay your taxes, you cannot do this, that, you cannot take a shit without your phone. You don't exist. Let me tell you, since in 5-10 years, without a chip in your brain, you don't work. There are two kinds of people, the one with smartphone and without smartphone. I don't need to tell you the without smartphone are on the bottom of society. They're very poor, unhappy and fucked up, because digital post-late capitalism and starting digital feudalism, dictatorship, feudalism of Elon Musk, mass killers, Zuckerberg killed more people than Hitler. Zuckerberg was able to manage with the vice called vanity, narcissism, and intolerance, same thing like Hitler with the fear, xenophobia, racism, and hatred. Facebook is something like a new Stalin or Hitler, and it created a second war, which is 10 times worse. You see, the war is going on in our brains. It's implemented by our kids who cyberbullying themselves, who addicted, who competing what better phones they have by iPads. They implementing us, they indoctrinating us since we fucking born. In 1990s, people were afraid that the world will be controlled by fucking robots, and they were making these funny films like I forgot the name, it's the fucking Schwarzenegger stupid film, And now, Running Man or whatever, what is it? And now, look at this. Now it's happening and everybody's so relaxed. Hey, they wanna put the chips in our head. Artificial fucking intelligence, fucking ChatGPT. What the fuck we know about ChatGPT? We telling the ChatGPT is like a go on the phone. I cannot talk to nobody. I cannot WhatsApp call because it says you are on another call. I wanna know who is recording and where is the storage all information I am asking and talking, and who is listening to me? Who will use this fucking data? Think it over. You want the smart houses connected to your chip in your brain? You want to get people to access to you want a social screening like in China when they observe what your face doing if you're really listening to your employee, to the political communistic party. Did you know that 1 year ago in Colorado they implemented operated chip in brain of 2 people, and they were able over 5 floors and around distance of 500 meters read through their minds the password of Bitcoin password. They were able, the person who was in the hospital in the eastern angle, let's say in 5th floor in the room 55, was able to read the Bitcoin password of the person in the 17th floor in the fucking southern. Do you understand it? Did you get it? Are you laughing now? You need a fucking picture from the fucking clay table or something? They implementing chips in our fucking brains in order to control us. You have a fucking driverless cars where the fucking car will lock the fucking wheel and say, hey Daniel, I just scan your fucking retina, it's peeling off. I just lick the fucking wheel, you cannot drive this car, and next Wednesday I made a fucking appointment with optometrist. And it's all somewhere in the air, this data. Some fucking hacker load down this fucking information, and when I'm going to the doctor between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m., he will fucking unlock my smart house and fucking rob me, or whatever, even worse, steal my identity. Think it over. From the analog times up to the fucking internet, interactive times, online times, from analog to online times, we coming to biosociological, into the time when the fucking chips are implemented in our brain. You see, they call it a biomedicine. They need to treat our brains. They need to take care about the chemistry of our brains. Maybe they want to implement some feelings. Maybe they want to play with serotonin and dopamine, because through the social networks and fucking iPads, it's not enough how they fucking using our fucking brain. We're not able having a relationship. The ADHD, attention deficit disorder, is the indicators of this mental disease is breaking the fucking roof, the ceiling. The personality disorders like narcissistic, paranoid personality disorders are breaking the fucking roof, this diagnosis. Depression is the second cause of the death on the planet according to WHO after cardiovascular diseases. There are more homicides in New York than in suicides. The fucking USA established ambassador for loneliness. 40% of Americans saying that they feel not lonely but isolated. You wanna see progress in applications? How about Tinder, dating sites? First part is okay. There are 10 women around, based on GPS, they got connecting, they wanna meet me. Second part is wrong, you see? Why? Because they allow you to chat. You can video call, but the video always fell down. I get to it, why? And there is no voicemail on Tinder. Think it over. These people want you to connect with people. And then they want you to keep subscribe, keep online relationships, and never ever meet. Because let me ask you a question. In a history of communication, you think that texting online is a technical progress or development? If you are fucking chimp or fucking idiot with demonetized brain, of course you will tell me that chatting is very modern and cool. And I will tell you, idiot, when you chat, you have a communication which is lacking vital, elementary functions of the language, like fatigue functions. Jacobson, look, 90% of the communication is transferred by extra-linguistic figures like a voice, like a sound of your voice or expression of your face. For the dumbest, for the idiots, I say it in a very simple way, 90% of communication is non-verbal. That's why when you talk in 1920s on the phone with somebody and you could hear his voice, the communication was more vital, more fruitful, more richer and more valid and more purposeful and useful than when now, 110 years later, you texting with somebody on Tinder. Did you get it? So, how are you on Monday? On Tuesday, somebody answered me, I am good. On Wednesday, what you doing? On Thursday, she answered me, I'm fine. On Friday, can we meet? On Saturday, I wanna text more in order to know you. It's an oxymoron, you idiot. Because to text with somebody in order to know him more before I voice call or video call, before we finally meet, is something like you say, I would like to have more dry water. Or I like to see the fucking cold fire or black snow, How you can know somebody how you can text with somebody more in order to know him? Especially now with artificial intelligence. To know somebody, you have to listen his voice and see his or see his face. You want to know the dating site which would works, and you don't find out of thousands of dating sites I download on my fucking phone, hundreds ones, maybe thousand. None of them works. You know why? Because I tell you, the dating site which will work will be based only on 3 voicemails, limited each one to 3 minutes, or 1 voice call limited up to 5 minutes or 10 minutes, 1 video call limited up to 5 or 10 minutes, or 3 video messages limited to 5 minutes. You will not be able to text by chat, because chat is for idiots. You see? If you want to meet somebody, I'll leave you 3 voice calls or 3 video calls, and you have sufficient enough information to fucking make your mind if I want to meet this person in reality or don't. If you don't, the fucking page will dismatch you. 90% of idiots, introvert, imbeciles, maniacs, obsedant, insomniatic, texters, onliners, imbeciles, hustlers, cunts, crooks will be filtered out to the online so-called fucking dating sites where they masturbate online. You see? I asked people, would you like this fucking dating site? And some digital nomad idiot told me, I would not like it because I'm introvert and I like to text. And I asked, how many people did you meet eventually? And that's what I'm talking about. If you're talking about online dating site, I guess they meant to meet. My vibe call fucking dating site will only limit you for video and audio calls. If you don't use these 3 options in 5 fucking working days or 5 working days, you get dismatched. You see, if you don't video call, audio call, you get dismatched. If you use video calls and audio calls, you get dismatched after 5 days anyway. And you only meet in a moment when you audio video call, because there is no other way of communication. So you really know who you're talking to. You see, I got a friend who were texting 5 weeks with some guy, good handsome guy, and then she told me, Daniel, he came on the date, but he didn't speak English. He was just speaking Spanish, but I don't speak English. I don't speak Spanish, he doesn't speak English. The date was disaster, but the idiot was using translated during the texting. I know that we have this experience when there is a filter and the woman looks different or the man. Think it over. If somebody really wants the dating site, which exists, it won't be based on chat. But then, I guess nobody would keep staying in this dating site because it would work and people would meet offline. But you have to ask yourself if these sociopaths who are ruling us in Silicon Valley are either half idiots. It's possible when you look at the Zuckerberg, like he's wearing the fucking slippers and the fucking shorts. This idiot, the IQ is maybe 140, but the emotional coefficient is maybe 40 on the level of fucking lizard. This fucking idiot, this muscular Zuckerberg, this fucking cunt, Elon fucking demented Musk with his down fucking fuckface syndrome. These imbeciles don't want you to get off that fucking gadgets. They want you to get hooked to them. And they so sick fucked that they turning this fucking beautiful planet in the ugly fucking sick fuckness. Because 300 years ago, 200 years ago, the elites were Beethoven, it was Paul Gauguin, it was Da Vinci 400, 500 years ago. The elites of the world were musicians, artists, historians, teachers, Nietzsche, philosophers. It was elites. And the science was represented by a world elites 1%. Now, the world elites, 99% of the world elites are represented by so-called fucking science, and 1% are maybe artists, writers, philosophers. Think it over. Our elites shrink to the couple of fucking sociopathic cunts who are actually not elites. And that's why the world looked like 200 years ago. The pictures, the paintings were beautiful, right? There was impressionism, everything. The music was so beautiful, right? You could hear the Beethoven, Mozart. Then you could see the Edward Manet's pictures and paintings, right? The world was a beautiful place. Now what kind of music do you hear? What kind of fucking paintings you see? Did you see the fucking modern art lately? It's disgusting. What kind of communication is made between people now? We are cocooned like in Matrix, you know. Soon we will get our chips and we texting to each other because social networks connecting people, of course. Before people really meet, they fuck. Now they estimate in next 5 years women will have more sex with robots than with human beings. Does somebody need a fucking cold shower here or wake up fucking point? Do you think really the internet is a technical progress or development? Think it over. Last 40 years, the world got in terrible decline of idiocy behind maybe the creating the fucking wheel, right, my friend? We are idiots. We are crystallic idiots. For last 10 years, the IQ of the Norwegian man dropped 10 times. You can check this statistic, 10 times. The most modern countries are demonetized. Look at the fucking US. Half of these people are schizophrenics or depressively disrupted serial killers shooting their own citizens. If you, in case you still idiot and you don't understand why, bear with me and I explain you. Well, I told you that the brain, the human brain was evolved since fucking monkey and since the 10,000 years before Christ, from Homo habilis to Homo erectus to Homo sapiens sapiens to Homo sapiens to Homo sapiens sapiens, which is Sumeris, which is nowadays fucking people 3,000 years before Christ. Last 4,000 years, the human brain didn't evolve. Now listen up. 200 years ago, when you walk down the street in this magical town called fucking Malaga, which is turning into a fucking technicalized discotheque of fucking young degenerative cunts listening to techno music, idiotic. You could walk down the street on Plaza Merced 200 years ago, and your brain, which didn't evolve, I repeat, for idiots last 4,000 years, your brain is a very sensitive computer, and your brain works based on the shocks, because 10, 15, 20,000 years before, the 10,000 years, 12,000 years before Christ, we can talk about beginning of some civilization, and we're talking about little settlements, villages and towns which were put together. Before, for your information, people were connected numerically in a group no more than 100. I explain you why. Because 200 was too much. When you were in prairies and savannas and jungles, and when the tribe was moving forward, 200 was too much. 200 people in moment when the lions were attacking you was too much to hide and divide in small groups and jump on the branches catch the branches of the trees and climb up or run away. 50 was too little, because 50 couldn't, for example, face one lion, and they were able to kill one lion. 50 people was little, but 100 people, let's say, I mean, like, don't catch my word, I'm improvising. 100 people was enough to kill 2-3 lions which attacked the tribe. You see, Mother Nature, make it good. 200 was too much to hide away or whatever. 100 is the biological fucking number for survival when you wanna survive in the group. That's how it is programmed thousands, 10,000s, thousands and thousands of years. So 100 people. Now let me ask you a question. Do you know what was the cause of the death in this group of 100 of collectors and hunters we were living? I tell you what is the first cause of the death. It was, 45%. It means 45 people out of this 100 died. And the cause of the death of these 45 people out of 100, the cause of the death, I repeat, of these 45 out of 100 was a murder, my friend. They were murdered by other 55. We are human animals, and our brain is a fucking sensitive computer. Now bear with me a little bit and don't forget the example, if you're not digitally demonetized idiot, don't forget the example with the Plaza Merced and the street, walking down the street 200 years ago and now. Your brain is a fucking computer. There is a theory which says that that around 50,000 years ago there was a huge meteorite which hit the planet and creates some shock in the brain of the people and the brain change. I explain how. Before, when you were kind of this fucking monkey, when some other monkey jump at you, or now, you take the fucking stone, and when somebody step on your fucking, somebody step on your feet, you take a stone and you hit him with the rock. You are an animal. Then one theory says that the brain change evolved into the stage when we are now. When somebody step you on the leg, you turn around, you want to attack him, but you say, okay, it's you, okay. But you can see how the brain works through corticoids, through stressful hormones. In a moment when you feel, when your brain works like a computer, when your brain receiving a shock, it can be shock visual, that you can see the lion or wild animal running in the savannah and you get a visual shock. Or it can be audio shock, when you can hear the lion, wow, and you get a shock. Right away, when you hear the lion, barking or shouting or whatever, fucking noising, then your adrenaline goes up, corticoid, you're ready to fight, your legs start to move, So you can see people when they feel discomforted and when they feel in bad situation, they start to move with their legs and they look like that because the legs intuitively want to run away. You see, you are an animal. That's what I'm talking about. Now let me ask you a question. During these old fucking times when we said the brain didn't get evolved last 4,000 years, the brain was not exposed for last 6,000 years. The brain was not exposed more than necessarily audio and video shocks. It was not exposed, I repeat. 200 years ago, when I walked down the street, only shock which I got was maybe the horse. Only what I could hear when I was going down was a noise, was voice of people walking down the streets, and the fucking horses going on cat heads and doing. That was the situation regarding the shocks, the audio shocks. Now when you're walking down the street here, your brain is shocked every fucking second. Like somebody's fucking iPhone, there is a fucking billboard which is online, there is a fucking taxi going, somebody's honking, somebody said, do you got it? And you even don't know what kind of fucking invisible wires are going through your brain, like Wi-Fi, all that shit. Your brain is something like a fucking egg on the fry pan. But only, my friend, last 15, 20 years. Before, your brain was not so much video and audio shocked. The lights, the natural lights, you could see petroleum lights on the street. And when the horse dragging the carriage, when the taxi horse was driving, carrying the carriage, when the horse, let's say, get wild and get his own last two legs and and start to be crazy, then you get startled and your brain start to work. Oh, this horse get fucking wild. Maybe it will jump out and it will hit me with the shit and it will kill me. So I have to do something. Or there was a thief, who take a fucking knife or something and he wanna fucking hit you, or somebody wanna hold you up. This was basically this kind of a natural video and audio shocks. Or there was a fucking lightning and there was a storm. And you got a fucking shock. That's why you, like in savannas, like a human being, you need your brain to be, to react on the shock, lightning. Oh, I have to hide in the cave because the lightning can hit me and kill me and there is a rain. They were basically 2 or 3 shocks. And the shocks come every couple of days or weeks, sometimes every couple of hours. While now the shocks coming every couple of picoseconds. It's not coming even every couple of seconds. Right now, I received, while I'm talking to you, as much shocks to my brain as the person 200 years ago received during his whole life. I received the shocks during 1 hour walking down the street. What people would receive the same amount of shocks 200 years during his whole lifetime. And let me ask you a question. Where do you think these fucking shocks coming from? Oh, maybe from internet or smartphone? Maybe the technology? And how old is the technology? You know, think it over. 70 years ago, there were some cars, petrol cars, honking, whatever. Look at the fucking New York now. Look at the New York 50 years ago. Think it over. All these unnatural lights creating epilepsy, billboards, lightning, Wi-Fi's, fucking radiation, microwave, whatever, fucking light shocks, heat shocks, visual shocks. We live in the motherfucking big casino. We are like sentenced to be on LSD kaleidoscope. We are get shocked many times. That's why people getting crazy. Did you get it? That's what I'm trying to get to is to realize that idea to destroy the internet, the digital age, which is only old, these digital age times, online times are old only 25, 30 years, are totally counterproductive. It's a technical development which is not non-productive but counterproductive. You see, I'm telling you that if you live out of internet, this civilization will survive. What will destroy this civilization is a fucking internet. You see? It's a technical development. That's what will destroy this civilization. It will end it. Like Romans like the Sumeri were ended by salty fucking ground. And they had nothing to eat. We will destroy ourselves with internet and artificial intelligence. Why? Because these shits are simply killing us. These shits are not compatible with the natural brain, you see? Tell me, what kind of fucking progress did you achieve using the smartphones? I'm not talking about Nokia phones, mobile phones. You can figure it out, okay? We don't know if it creates cancer in your brain or whatever, but certainly non-displayed mobile phones is a progress. When you are in the woods, you break your legs, you get the mobile phone, you call a fucking helicopter, which will save you and fly you to hospital. You couldn't do this when there were landlines. Now with your fucking smartphone, you probably break your legs because you're looking at the screen. Then when you break your legs, your battery is fucked up, then the chat is fucked up, the WhatsApp is fucked, and then they will call you back and nothing will happen. This is a technical fucking development. The smartphones are evil. Digital times are destroying us. The only fucking solution is the offline revolution. Offline revolution, which will bring people back before 2000. The only solution is that social networks and internet will be heavily regulated like in China. There will be new fucking inventions which will lock the phones for whole hours. There will be invention called some fucking yoga mat or something which you put it on your floor and it will fucking jam all signals and put your house offline, disconnect electricity, everything. And this natural source of energy will just play the music, meditate, new age fucking bullshits, and it will say, and for 1 hour, you have your magic hour. And then everything get back to the fucking energy. There will be offline asylum centers. There will be so much detoxification clinics that they will not be able to accommodate the people who will get crazy by chips and fucking TikToks, killing each other, homicide each other, and suicides. The offline will be new lifestyle. It will be something like fucking Che Guevara wearing the before ideological emptiness of the symbol with Che Guevara on fucking head when he died in Bolivia fighting the fucking communists. You will have t-shirts with the sign called offline life, offline. I live again offline. You will have a fucking blue zones, or I call it the green zones, without the fucking Wi-Fi. You have offline schools, offline restaurants, offline passages, offline shops, offline gyms. There will be mothers who will refuse to send the people in the school where is the Wi-Fi. When you can catch it, the addiction of the internet is so strong that it's not enough to go to some offline meeting, which are very popular now. You would have to go to parts, to the premises where the Wi-Fi is blocked, and when you having your withdrawal syndromes, to get again online and demonetized and attacked, then if even though you get on a smartphone, it won't work, because the system will be protected from Wi-Fi. You understand me? The system will be protected. There will be emergency hotels, Wi-Fi hotels, offline hotels. You see? And that's what I'm talking about. There will be offline revolution. There will be andro fucking idiots with the chips in the brain, the cyborgs. People who will put the fucking chips in their brain, the cyborgs, and then there will be offliners, two kinds of people, and they will fight. The mankind won't be divided based on the political affiliation, Democrat or Republican, or racial, white or black, or monetary situation, rich or poor, or geographical, you are city, you are habitant of the city or village, rednecks contra New Yorkers, right? Rednecks contra villagers contra city people, Republicans contra Democrats, left contra right, communists contra Nazis, yeah, Republicans contra Democrats, rich contra poor, offline, online. The world will be divided on offline and online. All money will be, all the wealth will be acquired for onliners. Onliners will be richer people than offliners. You see, offliners will keep the old good paper, money, gold, and stuff like this. Onliners will use the bitcoins and cryptocurrency. Onliners will rule the world. They will have a chips in their brain. They will have a fucking Google glasses, and they will be the one who were ruling the world. And the offliners will be something like 90% people in old fucking Rome or Greece. All Greece, all Greek, they had the expression for democracy. Actually, in bookish old ancient Greek, democracy is represented or expressed by the word called oikomen. Oikomen is a democracy, and in Greek, and democracy in Greek for old Greek was a pejorative expression, which means rule of mobs or plebs or human animals. All Greeks, there was a 5-10% of free people who ruled the society. It has nothing to do with the old Greek democracy. It was a heavy fascistic or communistic system. You see, now, since the Robespierre, the last guy who finished on the head razor, as the guillotine called poetically English people, and this system mistake of idiot Fukuyama, who realized since 90s that there is a system mistake. Bravo, Mr. Fukuyama. How you can call a fucking democracy and the people in Versailles, beheading fucking 5 million people and soaked blood of the fucking French fucking countryside by blood. How you can build on this fucking blood fucking base, something which works? Of course, democracy is bullshit. Of course, it's a political fucking agenda. Of course, you have a fucking... It's a bullshit. Democracy doesn't work. It's a joke. And liberal democracy, last out of 300 years, the last fucking 50 years, after the Second War, it's a super joke, the liberal democracy. There was a feudalism, there was a capitalism. It's a stupid concept which is old, like 300 years by Adam Smith, this fucking idiot. Democracy, capitalism was here actually since we crawled from the fucking cave. Passive participant of the game or the active participant of the game capitalize the passive one. You see, if you out of the game guy, you fucking never ever win, because it's illusion. It's a zero-sum game. You eat or you get eaten. You prey or prey, catch or catcher. You see, hunter or hunter. You onliner or offliner. That's what I'm talking about. Offliners will be passive participant of the game. Don't take me wrong, I predict that offliners will be people who use smartphones time to time. They won't just have a chip in their fucking brain. They will not go every 6 months to the fucking clinic where they put the fucking chip and and reconnect the fucking energy or whatever, how the fucking shit works. They will refuse to put something in their fucking brain which is not from their body. You see, that's what I'm talking about. Maybe some idiot says, "Hey, how about the people who get a fucking these shits in their heart, which is helping them to work it out?" Hell, that's something different. Cardio stimulator or how you call it, which is operated in your fucking body, doesn't control your mind. You see, you idiots. In case you're saying this, I'm not against the science and using the nanotechnology, for example, in medicine or correcting brain or whatever. I'm talking about getting chips to the heads of healthy people, you imbeciles. That's what I'm talking. This pejorative expression belongs to the idiots who believe that internet and online world is great, So I'm telling you, the offline revolution will be new lifestyle. The mothers will refuse to put the kids in the schools where you can catch internet. It will go so far that people will throw the telephones in the fire. They will fight against it. And as usually, as the fucking contra culture, fighting the culture, or, the contra system fighting the fucking system, and then always anti-capitalism fighting capitalism. We coming back to the feudalism, So we have a slavery when people, let me finish this thought, in times of old Greek or Rome, people were connected by the fucking handcuffs. And Aristotle was rebuking people in his own, books and writings and saying, don't be friendly with slaves. Don't remove them handcuffs. Don't let them sleep in your bed. Don't let them eat with you by the fucking table. And that's what the fucking sociopathic billionaires are not allowing us. They give us ChatGPS, which is blocked, but they can ask ChatGPS how to smuggle cocaine, how to murder 1,000 people without fucking get to jail. They don't eat with us on the table. We are the slaves. Don't be mistaken. The new slavers are the people in the Silicon Valley, sociopaths. Sam Altman, this is a masculine. We have to get rid of this animal. We have to kill these people, you see. They're jeopardizing our fucking civilization. So, since old times, you have handcuffs. Then here comes the feudalism, first night ride, whatever. You didn't have handcuffs, but you working 15 hours per fucking day. You have some baron, lord who got a land, and you shut the fuck up, and you were just allowed to grow something on your fucking farm or on your fucking little, in front of your house, some fucking food. You even didn't in middle age touch the fucking money, Then here comes the feudalism, then comes the new time, new age, whatever. And then comes the fucking democracy and fascists before the fascistic regimes, communistic, which divided people not based on the fucking, if they were barons or this, but this kind of slavery regimes or dictatorship regime which divided them based on some ethos like communism or fascism, on some fucking sick fucked racial theory. And I'm asking, after these thousands years, when there were passive participants of the game and active ones, since the fucking times we were in prairies, and savannas, since the time of Middle Age or whatever, since times of old Greek slavery, you telling me that now the times when we live in so-called democratical times, that there is no one group of people which controls on other? Of course. Do you know the sound of the fucking... You know what is the chain which fucking slaving you? Is this fucking phone. This phone is the chain. In Aristotle's times, when your predecessors were chained. You see, this is the fucking gas chamber to killing the people, this fucking phone. This is the fucking gulag, the camp in Siberia when the fucking communists put anti-communist, you see? This is the fucking first right land, this is the fucking middle age fucking shit where you have no... This fucking little phone represents the smartphone the times when women were not able to vote. This is a restriction. Slavers like Bill Gates reads paper books and lives in offline house. You see? Just like the fucking Escobar in age of when his son was 9 years old, he invited him, they went and he put on the table cocaine, heroin, marijuana, alcohol, tobacco. And he says, look son, alcohol, it's okay. Cigarettes, it's okay. Marijuana, it's okay. It's a drug, but I'm smoking it. Cocaine or heroin, it's not good. We're just selling it to people. It's a poison. But we don't use it. We are smart. Your father, Escobar, I never used cocaine. I tried, but I never use it. I sell it. Gates is looking into the fire, reading the books, and giving you the fucking Microsoft. These people are smart. Chinese creating TikTok, throwing it here, and protecting their fucking habitants from this. Think it over. This is a cocaine in pharmacies, heroin in pharmacies, smartphones, iPads. Internet is a cocaine in your brain and heroin. It's even running in the same fucking channels as cocaine when you're using it. You see? Think it over. We are about to be wiped out by technologies. But I have a fucking good news for you. And the news is that eventually every psychopath or sociopath in history, which when the sociopath or psychopath in history is on the microeconomical level, this guy can't do too much harm. He can harm 2, 3, 5 people. But if you put psychopath on a macroeconomical level, dumb psychopath Trump contra smart sociopath Putin who controls his emotions, these people can destroy whole nations. Sociopath Putin on macroeconomical level can on macroeconomical level can wipe out whole fucking nations because he is supposedly the richest man of the world. As much money as you have, as much power you have. Currency of power is money. Currency of control is fear. They implementing fear. Currency of the life is time. You see? And that's what I've been talking about. I'm talking about this, that before the society was divided in servants, workers, then there was this kind of a class of soldiers, then there were judicial system, judges, yeah, then there was a church as another line of society, and then there was a royal court, and then the emperors. Who are the emperors nowadays? Billionaires. Musk, Zuckerberg. Who is the royal court? Politicians. They puppet and pimped by the emperors. Royal court people have some special privileges. Trump is pimped by fucking Musk. Zuckerberg was pimping who? Biden? I don't know. I don't want to know. Then church is something which was giving you the paradigma, the aesthetic paradigma or moral paradigma of times. In church, they told you how you should dress, what you should do. If you're playing with the ointments or trying to heal somebody naturally, you witchcrafting, you put on the fire. You see, you witchcraft, right? Witch hunting, whatever. What is the church now? It's a TV. TV tells you how to dress, what to do, what is wrong, what is right, or social networks. Then judicial system, it didn't change, corrupted fucking judges, whatever motherfuckers. And then the military groups like police, soldiers, it didn't change. And then servants, welcome to fucking world. That's me and you, 90% of people. Nothing changed, you see. The classes of society may be modified, but it's always same. And what they use now, instead of fucking money chains and the fucking gold, they're using technologies to fuck us up. So don't take me wrong, my friend. But, so this is what is exactly happening. You see the stupid phone, I have to put it on charger. Works only 1 hour. You see? If I use good VHC camera from 1990s, I don't need to disconnect this video call or this video record. This is a technical development. This phone is useless. That's how it finished when you put on market something which doesn't work. Like GPS owned by fucking Ministry of fucking Defense, which never works, right? Think it over. Sociopathic billionaires put something on the market, it doesn't work. They want to slave people, make money on it. Forget about it. You are a human being. You can decide if to use the phone or not. I know it's addictive. It's very addictive. But I got a good news for you. Eventually these psychopaths and sociopaths will overplay their hand. Because they're so fucking confident that they always do something on the end which is too much, like a Hitler, for example. You can put on the beginning leftists and communists in a concentration camp in 1933, right? Then you can put Jews, then homosexuals. But once you want to put Slavic, once you want to put a fucking everybody in concentration camp and you want to wipe up the whole fucking planet, eventually you chew too much to fucking bite. And I got a fucking good news for you. Every sociopath and psychopath has narcissistic characteristic, has a all same fucking personality type. Donald Trump, Putin, fucking Elon Musk, fucking Gates, all these psychopaths, Sam Altman, all these sociopathic billionaires, these animals, they all think they too smart. They all think they too fucking genius. They all think that what they do, we gonna do. What they will order us, we will obediently do. They give us the phones, they slave us. We have the old Nokias, it was okay. Now we have to do online banking, you have to do this, I live in Spain, it's a country where banks open only for 3 hours per day and everything is online. And I saw old people in Madrid protesting that the applications don't work, they don't realize. You live in society where not only you fucking can choose to use smartphone, but you must. That's the difference, my friend. Never ever in history somebody force you to use wheel or a motherfucking book or fucking clay fucking tablet or some invention. Now you must use it. You must use it, or you don't have money, you don't have job, you don't have a doctor, you don't have nobody, you die without smartphone. And this smartphone will turn very soon into the chip in your head. You see, that's the plan of these motherfuckers. But the good news is that these sociopaths will always come out with something it's too crazy, and they eventually disconnect themselves from other people. Because think it over. Would you really, if they bring on the tray chip, would you really say, yes, please? And see how somebody put it in the pistol, and then you lie back and you hear, relax and count until 10. Would you really do it? Would you put a chip in your brain? That's what they want us to do. Would you do this? Me, I would never do this. I even was hesitant to enroll on fucking Facebook, Instagram, and fucking stupid YouTube. All information you're getting through YouTube. Does somebody getting information in different way than visually? No. Everybody getting it visually, so doesn't activate the parts of the brain. Everybody getting the fucking information visually. Nobody getting it in maybe audiobooks, but nobody doing it by reading, certainly. Because when you read on smartphone, you don't fucking read, we said. You fucking forgetting and wiping out your fucking brain. When you want to learn something, you learn it by video. By watching video. You reading in visual, idiotic fucking clay fucking, even the clay table was fucking, even the fucking clay fucking tablet was faster thing. You see, we become idiots. We are forced to accept information in one form which is damaging our mental health. We are forced to use this smartphone. We will be very soon forced to use the fucking chips in our brains. We are ruled by these fucking animals. And we are given something which looks like a gift, but it's an addiction. It's an evil. It's a Danai's gift. You see? That's what it is. It's a fucking Troja horse which was smuggled in our fucking brains. You see? It's an evil. Nemo cum diablo cator impune. This is an evil. And this shit is playing with you. But you have a free will. And you can see behind the corner. And you can see what will eventually happen. What eventually will happen, the people will have kinds of programs which will turn off or disqualified or switch off their phones. There are programs which can switch off your phone on time, or which can, but there are no programs which can really switch it off in case that you cannot log in. You see, there is always some emergency way how to turn it on. And when you addict it, you turn it on. There will be a lot of programs which will block the content on internet. And these applications or programs will make millions, $100 million. There will be a lot of offline houses or places which will be rented. Just like in Shanghai, I saw a guy how he bought in the box fresh mountain air from fucking Switzerland in China, where it's very polluted air. And I saw this guy how he opened it up for $100 and some Chinese probably fart in it. In China, they sell package of air for $100. So once I heard that some guy sold the surface of the moon. He realized the moon is not registered. So he started selling it to people. He went to the register of deeds and he registered the whole moon on himself and sell the fucking moon. Sell the fucking 1 acre of moon to Elvis Presley for $10 million because he was so happy he has a moon. He has a surface on moon. Try guess. The next thing, the next capitalistic fucking orgies will be this offline time. Offline time or offline product will be measurable. It will be cube of offline time. It will be cubic meter of offline space which you can use. It will be entity and commodity which you can bottle up and sell it. You can rent this offline apartment for €5,000 per week for $20,000. From now in 5 years, this apartment will be rentable for €20,000 per month in case that there is a jammer of the Wi-Fi. And if I want to join to Wi-Fi from any kind of device like iPad or smartphone or my Google fucking glasses, it won't work because it's jammed. Because there will be people waiting in the fucking line, scratching, getting withdrawal syndromes. There will be people knocking on my door and telling, hey, my kid just jumped out because of sextortion and another kid killed the other kid because get the attention deficit. Some new fucking TikTok diseases will be born in the brain of these people. We have no data. We are like in 1920s with smokers and first fucking lung cancers. Think it over. There was no lung cancer before the cigarettes. We have to wait 10-15 years to see the old grown man what did he did with his brain when he was exposed for first 30 years of his life, TikTok or Instagram. These people will come on my apartment. Hey, my 2 kids homicide, TikTok themselves with attention. I predict there will be some attention disorder, violent, diagnosis. Like attention disorder defect, or how you call it, attention disorder, whatever. So my 2 kids were killed. They kill each other with the TikTok attention disorder raptus attack. That's just the diagnosis. Another kid jumped out of the bridge because somebody sextorted him through the fucking cyberbully. And me, I'm heavily addicted on everything. Could you let me go here for 1 month? Just to put my brain okay, because my brain is bleeding. It's like an X on the fucking fry pan. I pay you $20,000 for offline space. It went so far that you cannot use the jammer in USA legally to jam the system. In Europe you can. And you know why the fuck you cannot jam the signal? Try guess. It's all happening in US. You want to see where the future? Go to San Francisco, LA. Go to Toronto. This is the laboratory of the world. On the second fucking line or in this war, then that's how it look like future. Then there is a Western Europe, England, Ireland, France, Germany. Then there is the South Europe, in the third position, and the fourth is third world countries. In the third world countries, they still use Facebook or Messenger for communication. You go to fucking USA, already people deinstalling WhatsApp because they realize what the fuck is going on. But don't take me wrong, I don't think so. There will be offline revolution when 95% of people will go offline. I think that it will be on the spectrum like as it is now and everything gets radicalized. So there will be some 5% of radical offliners which I probably want to join to and which will will live basically life without internet. There will be just like extinction ecologist, extinction rebellion, like the people who stuck themselves to the idiots who stuck themselves to the fucking ground in case, or who are, what I'm talking about, Greta Thunberg, all these idiots. There will be extremists, there will be eco-terrorists who will blow up petrol cars. There will be offliners who will attack the fucking representatives of the technologies and online world. The people who understand that Nietzsche says when the mankind will, Nietzsche realized 120 years ago or 130 years ago that the world gets shifted attention of the human spirit. The religion got emptied. He was militant atheist, Nietzsche, and he realized that when mankind will abandon the God is dead. This is his famous quote. Then people will just lean and substitute God, will lean towards the science. And that was just happened last 120 years. But then Nietzsche says when the people will exhaust the science just like they exhausted God, they replace God by science. And when they will exhaust the science and the science won't work into their spiritual, like the spiritual feeling or some kind of faith, then here comes such a wave of nihilism and fucking pandemonium. You cannot fucking imagine. There will be shitstorm. That's what the Friedrich said. And he's right. Because 200 years ago, what was your spirituality? What was it? You were the person who go to church, you prayed, then you eat, you were quiet, whatever, you talk to people, there was no electricity, petroleum lamps, you go home. What the fuck is your spiritual feeling now? Clicking. We a little bit changed spiritually. We are spiritually dead. We are just praying to fucking motherfucking artificial intelligence like some kind of fucking, resurrection. It looks like a resurrection when we look at the artificial intelligence. There is a god complex of fucking surgeons, of sociopathic cunts who are using artificial intelligence, surgeons, idiots, cosmonauts, fucking spacemen, idiots, Gates, all these fucking sociopathic billionaires. We're looking at them like a gods, and they are gods. The gods are able to travel everywhere. They can able to do everything. They have eyes like a Gilgamesh. Like they can see all over the world because they have the fucking visions. They listening us through their devices. These sociopathic billionaires, 50 richest individuals on this planet own 50% of all printed currency in all fucking currencies of the all physical money. I repeat again, top 50 richest individuals, 50, 1 to 50, owns 50% of all physical printed money. 50 against 8 billion people. This world is ruled by 20, 50 people, not more. And they controlling us. They are like gods. They see, they can smell, they can see us, they can hear us, they can control us, they tell us what to eat. Marx was right, because Marx says, actually, even the communism was bullshit. Marx was right in this, that on the end, there will be only one capitalist who exhausts itself. You see, now, what kind of taxi you take when you go out? Probably it will be Lyft or Uber. You will take a normal taxi? No, it doesn't exist. You don't wait for normal taxi. Who will you think will win? It will be fucking Uber, or it will be fucking Lyft, or the other fucking services which are fucked up already. Of course it will be Uber. What kind of fucking social network you use? I guess it's Twitter, Snapchat, or motherfucking Facebook or Instagram. I don't think so, it's other fucking networks. Who do you think will win? There will be one fucking airline, one supermarket. There will be one capitalist. There will be one guy who owns Uber, who owns own airline. There will be one fucking capitalist, and that's how the capitalism, this stupid concept, which is we are in late capitalism, and it's only 200 years here, which will die. That's what the Marx says. The other thing, what was Marx and Engels right about, is that nations and the nations will die, and there will be no borders between countries, and the mankind will melt and blend into one fucking world and nation, which is already happening in Europe. There are no nations. Everything is blending. Look at the North America, South America. Then other thing what Engels was right about is that some sick fuck motherfucking terroristic capitalistic cunt came, and when the capitalism was invented before, people didn't touch even the money. In Middle Age, you practically didn't touch the money, which was represented not by paper, by gold. Paper money were invented in the 19th century. If you live in 1465 in Europe, you never ever could touch the money, possibly whole your life. You just were able to do some bartering, or you grow the food, or grow the fucking poultry or pig in your fucking house, or whatever fucking wherever it was. You didn't, the normal people, servants, 90% of people didn't touch the money. It was elites, you see. Think it over. Now, Engels was right with this, that in moment when the capitalism was born in the 18th century, somebody come and he says, look, you fucking human idiot, I give you one gold fucking coin for 100 hours of work. Let's say now in Spain, this concept still work all around the world. And one dishwasher in Spain got €1 per hour, or €5 per hour. Explain me why in Switzerland the dishwasher got €50 per hour. In England, £15, $15, in US 12, I don't know. Who even invented or said that 60 minutes of my life based on one activity is equivalent to this exact amount of the fucking money? Why somebody don't give me for being dishwasher for 60 minutes $10,000? Maybe you say I'm a crazy. No. You say the world was made like that. And who made world like that? Who made capitalism? Who was the first one who says that 60 minutes is equivalent of this amount? Of course, it was some rich motherfucker who undervalue your work, you idiot. Because if you see this fucking CEO on the top of the company, the CEO has a salary around $1 to $2 million per year plus bonuses. Let's say $5 million fucking dollars per fucking. Let's say he has $5 million per fucking year, right? He's working 365. He's working 340 days just like you, and you're working down on the ground, on the first floor, and he's on the 300 floors of the skyscraper, and he has $5 million, and he works same 340 days like you. He works same fucking 10 hours per day like you. He works same fucking 5 days per week like you. Why the fuck he's paid? Let's say you have $50,000 per fucking year and he has 5 million. Why he's paid 500 times more than you? Does he work 500 hours more than you? Do you see the disproportionality, you idiot? Of course. That's how the fucking rich fucking with you. That's how the rich fucking with us. They give you the fucking $10 per hour or $20 per hour, but they charge themselves $5,000 or $50,000 per hour. The disproportionality of the monetary system is the basic betray of human race and the basic injustice which was implemented 300 years ago almost, and which everybody fucking repeat. It's a newborn slavery. You see? There is enough sources for all of us. These people are mass killers. These people who even donate, you could donate 5% of their property, it would wipe out the human poverty for 5 years. You see? These people actively killing other people. Just not sharing. In fucking Middle Age, the normal fucking king was something like today $5 billion guy. Well, if you're fucking king, what kind of a fucking rich person you were in the Middle Age? You were a guy who could have some fruits, probably not the exotic one. You have some better clothes, you have some castles, some fucking idiots, whatever, right? Some servants, stuff like that. In Middle Age, when people dying in the mud, on the street, they would think, 600 years later, I don't think so. There will be some kings, there will be justice. Wrong. The disproportionality and the money. There were no billionaires. First billionaire was Carnegie, which was an honest man, and he donated everything on the end of his life. I am not a communist and saying that they should donate 99% of their property. I say, how about they pay taxes 50%? Is it too much to ask somebody who has 200 fucking billions to donate 100 billion? You think 100 is still enough to survive with it? Of course. With the power and the money comes the fucking responsibility. Do these people look like responsible to you? No. These people are maniacs. These people are animals. They are dictators. So you see, basically, we didn't move since fucking Mesopotamia. I'm even afraid that we are actually more stupid than in Mesopotamia. You see? We are from age of zero, the anno domino, from age of zero, we are for last 2025 years, last 25 years probably in the lowest point of our civilization. We are the most stupid one, probably for last 5,000 years in regard of memorizing and learning new things. We are the most stupid ones for last 5,000 years regarding communicating with each other. We gotta probably for last 5,000 years the most fucking stupid and poor relationships. For last 5,000 years we probably not fucking enough, you see? This normal thing like a sex, which was in Middle Age given by everybody, of course it was based on this, but the normal people, the servants, they could fuck each other. Now you have a feminism. Now you have dating sites which start to disconnect you, isolate you. We live in the times of hunger, my friends. We live in the times of biggest slavery, invisible slavery. The slavery is in your brain. We live in the times in 1982, George Orwell, and try guess. Winston doesn't need to look at the fucking monitor in the wall. He's just carrying voluntarily and he looking in it and auto-censoring himself every fucking day and saying his location, what he's doing, how much money he has, where he wired it to who, what is his opinions, and he is social scored and monitored in his face if he's a good obedient citizen. We doing it voluntarily. Orwell thought that we will be forced to use these cameras. No, we're doing it for free. We are something like fucking Donald Trump, the easiest fucking draft in KGB, in history of KGB. Yeah, I'll put in it like, he's a half of full retarded. I guess he knows he's full retarded, right? He knows he's doing it for free. We are idiots. That's the whole message of this 2 fucking hour monologue. We are idiots, but good news, we are incredible idiots. As Slavoj Žižek says, 99% of civilization are idiots. The good news is that the offline revolution has just started, my friend. And you can heavily capitalize it if you're a little bit evilish person. You can capitalize. This is not a pentagram, you imbecile. I won't waste my fucking time to explain you that before 19th century this sign had another fucking meaning. I leave it to you to figure it out. But think it over. The offline revolution has just started. It has just started. It's 1920s and we can realize that cocaine and heroin cannot be sold in the pharmacies. The offline fucking revolution has just started. We are in the times when we realized that we cannot fucking be free without not having an iPhone, or not having Samsungs and iPhones. I have Samsung. We fucking living in times when we realized that we are again on the crossroad. Maybe we are in, maybe we are like a last fucking emperor in old Rome, ancient Rome, the Romulus, and we opening the fucking gates to the fucking Christians, uh, tribes and gods coming here. Maybe old Rome was dependent on the slaves, just like European Union is dependent on the refugees and people from outside regarding the labor. Maybe we have politicians which falling apart and they are just, you know, getting their power like relying on army, like in late Rome. Maybe we have orgies full of alcohol and drugs like old Romans. Maybe we have so much bureaucracy like European Union where you can legally change your sex but you cannot bring the spare parts from USA for BMW V. Maybe we have too much bureaucracy like old Rome. Maybe we are on the end of our civilization because I guess it's 2000 years. That's actually this that's actually usually the fucking length of civilization which always ends when you look at the fucking Greeks or Romans or Sumeri. It was plus minus 2, 3, from 1 to 3000 years. Why the fuck we should be different? Maybe some idiot thinks we are in technical progress, but we in development. Maybe we are like a fucking Sumeri and we invented the wheel. We invented the fucking. We invented the the pet. We invented the fucking clay pet. You see? We invented the fucking clay pet. We invented the wheel. But then we just fucking ceased to exist. We invented telephone, right? We invented antibiotics and then we ceased to exist. Maybe this fucking last 25 or I would say 100 to 200 years which will follow will not come with nothing smart. You see? Maybe that's the end. That's what a lot of people don't realize. We are not actually so smart. We are in the most dark and stupid moments. Or maybe we start offline revolution. Right? Because artificial intelligence compared to the knowledge and manipulation is 100 times more powerful invention than the fucking nuclear weapons. And we know that the fucking mankind occasionally is so nervous that it looks like the world will nuke itself. But now you got a new threat, my friend. You have a 10% chance that through artificial intelligence the world will kill itself. And I think it will. It's just a question of time, you see. But nobody's give a fuck because this fucking 10,000 years when this human cockroach called fucking human being is dirtying this beautiful planet, you know, this fucking syphilitic bacteria of plague which is attacking this beautiful planet last 12,000 years. You know, this planet doesn't give a fuck. You know, this simulation which is running in the corner of some fucking cosmos besides the other simulation on some fucking quantum correlated retarded fucking iPad of some idiot who is simulating us for fun, these fucking degenerative animals. Nobody's give a fuck in this corner of this fucking galaxy. You should little bit zoom up, my friend, zoom out. We're not so fucking smart, you see? That ego yourself, motherfucker, and realize what's going on with this civilization. So that's all what I want to basically tell you, that the offline revolution started. And I think for the last couple of 200-300 years of this civilization, there will be offline terrorists. There will be proud offline citizens. There will be people who come back to the offline times. And then there will be the cyborgs and these imbeciles who will trying to fight. But eventually the whole fucking online generation finished because it will be carried by idiots. Because we can see that the brain of the human being is so much attacked and toxical. The everyday internet life is so toxic that civilization collapsing. Can you imagine in 20 years some kid who was born into this nightmare, into this toxic polluted environment and world where its brain is burned down from age of 2 by happy birthday first fucking iPad. Can you imagine that from this person can reach the age of 14 before fucking hanging himself in age of 10 on the fucking doorknob because he was sextorted? Let's say they will survive, the kids, the fucking remaining of the fucking human beings with the chips in their brain, tortured fucking animals. Maybe these people will grow to the age, maybe the generation born in 2025 to 2030 will live longer than in middle age. It's 35 years, or in Africa now, right? And maybe they make it eventually and they become doctors or teachers. What do you think, or lawyers, kind of society it will be? I'm your doctor, but I got the TikTok syndrome and I was studying from TikTok iPad and I cannot prescribe to these drugs. Think it over. This fucking fashion internet of 30 fucking years is a ridiculous shit. It's a ridiculous shit. You see, this TikTok bullshit is internet offline, this online times from 2000 to 2025 will go away like something like a rococo. Like you were wearing this motherfucking hairs, like the whole barocco the whole online times will not last like barocco. This will be just a part of barocco, rococo, you see? This is some fucking 20, 40 years when they legally sell cocaine. By the way, I hope so they will sell it again. But I say no to fucking smartphones. You see, so that's all what I want to tell you. And now I'm going to start to make money on new offline times. Because, my friend, I'm the one who is not retarded. Because the information which I am getting and I gave you, this information which I am giving you and telling you you will be really amused. They from paper books. That's my secret weapon. Everything what I told you, every idiot can realize reading más o menos couple of 100 books. So you can get this information and you can even keep them in your brain if you know how. I just told you. And then eventually you can survive next times, because it's up to you if you use this phone like a heroin in your brain, or you use it only sometimes, or you realize that you cannot fucking use it because it's like use heroin once per day. Hey, viva la offline revolution. I hope so. The Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk will be killed and assassinated soon, and we come back to the times when I watch newspapers, when I go to library, borrow the books, and I talk to some lady without stupid non-functioning dating site.